let's get down to the issue. You might have people who just walked into your church for what might be their very last time, or what might be their first time in a very long time. They might have had a bad experience the last time that they visited a church, or maybe a bad experience the last time that they visited your parish. They might be questioning their faith or on the brink of leaving the church. You might only get to have one interaction at best with them, whether it be a howdy, a hello, or a welcome home. What do you say to this person? How do you get that next interaction with them? That, hey there, it's so good to see you or hear from you. How do you make every interaction count? And how do we continue that relationship so that they continue to come back to the church and join in community with you? Quite frankly, how can we make the biggest change in their lives? The answer? To give this person something tangible, a lifeline that will connect them back to your community and essentially back to you. And today I have 2 easy tools to help you build that lifeline. Howdy friends, my name is Mary Devlin and I head up the Engage team here at Flocknote. And as you probably just guessed, the 2 tools that I'm going to speak about today are both Engage and Flocknote. I also want to take a couple of seconds to introduce my good friend, Uno. So Uno is that person that I just talked about at the beginning of this presentation. He is the lost sheep, the one from Luke 15 that we are called to leave the 99 and to go after. Uno is why we here at Flocknote are on a passionate mission to build a more connected church. Uno is why you're here today in the position that you are to evangelize to the members who are lost in our communities. So today we are going to dive into the why and the what of Flocknote. We're going to dive into the why and the what of Engage and how you can use these tools to find the Uno in your community and invite them back into a deeper connection with both you and the Lord. All right, so Flocknote. We built Flocknote because we realized that most churches can't reach their members when they need to most, especially between Sundays or if a person stops showing up on Sundays. Flocknote helps you solve this through smarter emailing and text messaging. Imagine this. What if you could send a professional looking email, which averages 40 to 60% open rate, or a text message, which is about 99% open rate, and send this directly to your entire ministry or congregation and have it to them in minutes, quite frankly, in seconds. Could you see a more engaged community? Would your church see an increase in giving? The opportunities are endless with this communication tool. Right now, churches are typically using an analog type of media, which we're talking word of mouth, bulletin, friend of a friend, or they're diving into some digital tools like social media, their websites, and other things like that. But there's a whole world of email and texting that has, quite frankly, been around for years and will continue to be around. It's been staples in about everyone's life for quite some time, depending on how young or old you are, where you would rate yourself on the technologically savvy scale. Emailing and texting are a part of your life, and they probably aren't going away anytime soon. They're simple, they're universal, and people by and large already have the habit of going to their email inbox or opening up their messaging app on their phone to look at updates, communications, some new news and stuff like that. These habits are already created. As a result, the most important pieces of information that you can get from your members are their cell phone numbers and their email address. This is that lifeline I was talking about. These are like the new home address for your members. Believe it or not, nowadays these actually change less frequently than a person's physical mailing address. I know because I speak from experience. I moved 3 times last year. I had 3 different physical addresses, but my email stayed the same throughout all of that. So using emailing and text messaging, you can reach more of your members, more of the time, more effectively than through any other communication channels out there. But as a church community, we have to use them well, and we have to be smart about how we use them. And this leads me to, so why Flocknote? As you'll soon see here, it's easy to use, it's easy to learn, it's safe environment compliant, and your members can connect with you without needing to download an app or create an account or remember a password to hear your message or for them to hear back from you. I want to say that again really quickly for anyone who missed it. With Flocknote, your members don't need to download an app, they do not need to create an account or remember a password to hear from you. You can meet them where they already are and direct them to an encounter with your church whenever you need to, every single day. The bottom line is that any healthy organization can reach its people when they need to, at the drop of a hat. Think about any organization, any not-for-profit or business that you do, or company that you do business with. What keeps them at the top of your mind? It's the ability to reach you quickly and effectively, and that's typically via email or text message. But when it comes to churches, whether it's bad weather, urgent announcements, a tragedy, or a last-minute change of venue, most churches can't do this, especially not at a moment's notice. They can't reach their people between Sundays, and they certainly can't reach them if they stop showing up on Sundays. So Flocknote gives you the ability to streamline communication within your church and to communicate with your members via text message or email whenever you need to from any device. So great, now we can reach our members, but what do we send them? And that's where Engage comes into play. Engage is a word on fire content subscription meant to help parish leaders, just like yourselves, evangelize to your parish community. Engage is an optional add-on subscription to the Flocknote system. It's built directly into our system, so not only can you reach that lost sheep, but you can provide them with an opportunity to take that next step in your faith journey. The word on fire content paired with a Flocknote communications tool make Engage the right fit for every adult parishioner in each step of their faith formation. Whether this is pre-evangelization, initial proclamation, or true formation, whether you're focusing on the new evangelization or just the people in the pews right there in front of you, this content has been created with that person in mind. To give a quick overview of what the Engage subscription is, there are 3 main parts to mention. The first is the pre-made email and text messages created for individual or program study use. So in Flocknote, the email and texting communication service, we have created a ton of different emails and text messages that are all ready to go and just need to be sent with a click of a button, filled with word on fire content. The second option with the Word on Fire subscription is the Word on Fire video module. And so this allows you to, when you're crafting your own email, your own text message, and there's a great video that you want to add to it, you can pull directly from the Word on Fire digital library into the Flocknote program. So you can pull a video straight from there directly into that email, have your members view it with no emails, with no passwords, no codes, anything like that. They have access to this premium content in their email inbox. They don't have to go anywhere else. It's right there in their inbox. And so this is a great opportunity for you to add in that content. The last way is that on each of these videos, each parishioner can actually access the Word on Fire digital library on their own. Every single video offers them access to go view it on the Word on Fire digital library website. So with Engage, you can handpick a parish-wide program study. You could send a timely video to follow up a conversation that you had with a parishioner, or you could send your active parishioners a resource for them to dive into on their own time. The active communication side, using emails and text messages to send this content, focuses more on the new evangelization. You can reach your members who are maybe a bit more disengaged and are not actively looking for formation. You can deliver to them an email or a text message filled with resources, or a personal message inviting them deeper into a deeper community. The parish-wide access to Word on Fire Digital offers evangelization for the parishioners who are in the pews or wish they were in the pews, and these members who are actively looking for more and more spiritual depth. Engage offers formation content for every adult in your parish, regardless of where they are in their faith journey. So you might be thinking there, great, Mary, this is all wonderful information, but how easy is it really? And what type of content are you talking about? Both are very fair questions. And so now we're going to dive a bit into our demo of Flocknote and Engage, go over some of the basics of Flocknote, explore the Word on Fire content, and really show you how easy it is to get going with this content. So I'm going to pull up my church on Flocknote. For the purposes of this session, I've named it the Called, Sent, and Formed Day. And so what we're going to go ahead and do right quick is look at the left-hand side of our screen over here. So the first thing that I want to draw your attention to is the groups right here on the left-hand side of your screen. These are the different groups of people that you can send information to. You can always add more, you can change these up as you need, but these are going to be the groups of people that you would send an email or a text message to. Now let's look at the buttons at the top left. So this is kind of your hub of Flocknote, and this is where you'll take some of your most common actions within Flocknote. So you'll have this little blue button here with an envelope on it, which is send an email. This little phone icon allows you to send a text message. The plus button, which allows you to add a member. Your notifications, and then your more options, where some more administrative tasks are located. We also have our super search here, which allows you to really search for groups, notes, members, really anything in your network that you might need to look for. Excuse me. At the bottom of this groups list there, you'll see an option to manage your groups. This is where you can add in those new groups of members that I talked about. It's always a good idea to keep these groups of people separate so that members are only receiving the information that they really need to. So let's go ahead and create a new group by clicking on Manage Groups and adding a new group. So let's name this something that might be recognizable by your members. So church, maybe the name of your church, and then Engage. We're going to keep this as an open group. Closed and hidden groups are mainly used for administrative groups within your network, maybe a test group or some of the different pastoral councils that are there, really internal communications that a regular member wouldn't need to receive information from. So I'm going to go ahead and add that group. I'm going to click done, and now I can see over here that a new group has been created. We're going to go ahead and click on it. When we do, we're brought to the notes page. This is where you'll see all of the past emails and text messages that have been sent to this group. So great, we have a group, but it says that there's only one member in it. So how do we get those more members in there? When I click on the little people tab, I'm brought to the list of everyone who is connected to my group. So say I want to add in someone else. If I click on add a member, and I say I want to add in Mary Hinsey, maybe we'll do It's my maiden name for anyone wondering. And we're going to go ahead and add her to the group. So now that I just added her, she's already connected to my network. You see how easy that was? She doesn't have to click anything. She doesn't need a passcode. She does not need a password. She's already connected, and she's going to get the next email that I send to this group. So another way that you could add members, I know most of you probably have a spreadsheet out there with emails and phone numbers of members who are actively engaged or people who maybe only shared their email or phone number once. We can get those people into Flocknote in just a second, just a jiffy. I don't remember what that phrase is. But by clicking on this little gray import button, we're going to be prompted to import our contacts. So you can always upload a CSV file or an Excel file right there so that you can add all of your members in one fell swoop. They'll be added just like Mary was, with her email address already verified, her phone numbers already verified, so they're all set to receive that information. So Flocknote is really not designed to be a new place for your members to go back to. It's not some place for them to log into and check up on, just like you check up on any other social media site. This is a place to really have them directly checking their email and checking their phone number, their messaging app, their text messages, where they're already going to be looking at this. So it's communicating to them without them having to look for your communication. So with adding members, either one of these two ways, you can start communicating with your members in just a couple of minutes. So there is one last way that members can join your network. And so this is a little bit more on the member side, but it goes back to that lifeline that I was talking about, that immediate connection that you want to create with that person and then have it to hold on to. So I'm going to pull up a brief video that actually goes through the entire process of what a text to join keyword is. What you'll do on your end is you will set up a text to join keyword. It'll be a keyword that you choose. So in this case on the video, it is HCC. And so they're texting that to 84576. Once they do that, link is sent back to them and they're able to click on that link and continue adding more information. So just with that simple text, then they're prompted to really join your community. As you'll see in the rest of this video, this member is prompted to add in their first name, their last name, their email. And then once that's been entered, they're allowed to click on different groups that they want to join. What groups do they want to be a part of and receive information from? So it's a really easy way for them to get connected to your church at just a couple of seconds. So I'm actually going to go into my group, my texting settings, and I'm going to set a text to join keyword. Sent. So I would love for you to see just how easy this is. So go ahead and text sent to 84576 and you should get a message welcoming you to our account. Great. So now we have a whole group set up. We've got our members included. All of that is ready to go. So how do I send an email? How do I send a text message? Well, glad you asked. So the first thing that I want to show is how to send a text message. When I click on this text message button, I'm prompted to, this is the specific group that I was already on, and then I can also add in a great video because I apologize, I'm on my free 30-day trial with Engage. So I could say, check out this great And so down here, I'm going to have some options with comments. I could allow people to have public comments if I want them to respond to the information that's in here. I could schedule it to go at a different time, or I could check who is going to receive this information in what way. And then I'm going to go ahead and make sure that is all set. Click preview, so I'm going to see how it will look. It'll come across as a link for the video that they can open up and watch right then and there. And then I'm going to click send. My first text message, all sent. Great. So I want to now kind of go over to some of that content that we talked about. It'll also lead into how we use emails and kind of that email note composer. So to find the pre-made email and text messaging content, I'm going to go click back on my dashboard. This leads me back to my our dashboard, as we spoke about, is really a place where you can kind of get the heartbeat of what's going on in your parish. You can see some last minute actions that have been done. You can see any information that you might need to know and some easy steps to lead you through some of your first actions in Flocknote. So I'm going to click on our library here, and this is where there are a ton of free and also engaged emails that are emails and text messages pre-made for you. So like I mentioned, there'll be some free content in here that's by Flocknote or some other people who have put this in here. And then you also have a ton of engaged content with this subscription. So these are all handcrafted by the Word on Fire team for your members. So I can click on any one of these, and then I can open a specific note, and it's an email that's been crafted with the videos, with emails, with reflection questions, and say I wanted to send this note to my group. So I can go ahead and copy this note. And once I copy it, it's actually put into our email note composer. I can select the group that I wanted to send to, and it's all made right there in front of me. So I've selected my group. All I need to do is click preview, send, and that note is off on its way. Wow, that was so easy. So just a couple of clicks and I sent that Word on Fire content directly to my members in their inbox with some questions, and I could have even personalized that if I want to. So say I'm looking for something on prayer. Advent's coming up. I want people to be kind of diving back into their prayer lives. So I'm going to search in our library for prayer. Great. This is awesome program series, which is 4 different emails, all scheduled out a week apart. So I can see down here it says day 1, day 8, day 15, day 22. So all of those are scheduled over a 4-week period. So I can also choose when I want that to start. So I am going to want that to start at the beginning of Advent. And then I'm going to add this to my network. I need to choose what group this goes to. So I'm going to select my Engage group, click OK. And then once it's done, it's brought me all the way back to that group. So I can look at my scheduled folder, and these are all the different emails that are going to go out between now and December 20th. So what if I don't remember exactly how this looked or I need to edit it? I can still do that directly from my drafts. So I clicked on it, all of this stuff. Maybe I want to change up some of the colors. I want to make it look a little bit different. I want to add maybe a different subject title or anything like that. Maybe I want to change the width of this. I want to make this like a smaller email. If I wanted to add in any of these other modules, if I wanted to add in my own image or file, or if there's maybe some more reflection questions that I wanted to add specifically for my community, I can go ahead and write any of that right on in here. So I'm going to go ahead and preview, and I'm going to continue to schedule it. All right, so you've already gone through the 1, 2, 3 of sending an email, sending a text message, and using all of that pre-made Word on Fire content. Great. So what does it look like when my members receive it? That's a question that we typically get pretty often. So I'm going to pull up one of that email that we just sent to ourselves. So this was Who Preserved Western Civilization After Rome's Fall. So it comes from my group name. I can see that up here. And then it is right on into the email. I can see all of that information coming into this email just like this. I can reply to any of this information, but most importantly, I can watch this video. So when I click on this video, it directs me right to the email within Flocknote, and then I can start watching the video. I click play, and this video continues to play. I can go through it and kind of move to anywhere I need to, adjust the volume, and watch this video right here. I can respond to any of this information here and add a public or private comment depending on what I choose to do. There's also this great opportunity. So this is the last option in Word on Fire that I mentioned, was the ability for your parishioners to view Word on Fire content directly in their and with their own access, with no emails, no passwords, nothing like that. So I am just going to click on this orange button, and I'm directed right to Word on Fire Digital. So now I'm in this all access pass. I have the most recent video that I've been watching, got all of the wonderful content in here. So any of the different content that I want to explore, I can just start playing directly from this link. So that really gives me all of that access. I've got no codes, nothing to remember. It's as simple as a couple of clicks of buttons. All right, so now that we've gone through what this looks like for your members, how they'll receive it, how they go through all of that, let's kind of chat about what it looks like when you look at it as an admin. So as an admin, you'll want to go back and return back to the note that you had. So I'm going to go ahead and click here and then click here. So once I am on this page, I will be able to click on this top right here. So this right here is what we call our note analytics. And I want to see how many people it was sent to. I want to see who's opened it and who hasn't, and then did they click on the video. So right here in this sent to, I can see the group that it was sent to. I can see who opened it, and I can actually hover over their profile. And then I can go look at these clicks. So this note video link is how many times people clicked on the video from their email account. So that has one right there because I just clicked on it. And then we can also see who didn't open it, what email was sent to them, and then they didn't open it. So this is a really great way to track people's engagement with your content, track your overall engagement and see who opened, who didn't, and then really just get a feel for that information. You can always exit out of this, and then this will also be the place where you can manage people's comments. You can respond to them, you can add in information, you can add in your own thoughts. It's always a great feeling when you hear back from someone. So remember that for whenever your members reach out to you, it's always great for them to hear back from you on your thoughts on what they thought. So it's a really great cycle, and it just builds that lifeline up so much more than it has been, and it really strengthens that connection to you, to them, and it makes that so much deeper, as you know. All right, so we have really touched on a lot of the who, what, where, why, and how do we find Uno, and that just about covers all of the basics of these two tools. So right now, you are in one of two places. The first is that you've never used Flocknote before. It's all new to you. It looks kind of cool. You might want to try it, but you don't want to commit, and that's okay. What I would suggest is actually to start a Flocknote network. We are free for under 40 members, so there's no commitment, no credit card. You don't have to put in any money in order to just get a good feel for what the system looks like. I always suggest grab yourself and 39 of your closest friends and join the network. Use the text join keyword. That's included with your network. You know, maybe make a spreadsheet of 30 of those members and get a feel for what that import looks like. Send them a couple of emails, ask them to respond, send a couple of text messages, and get a good feel for how easy this communication tool really is. The second step, so maybe you want to do this along with your first step, it just depends. This would be is if you are new to the engaged content. So if you're new to the Word on Fire content, how that pairs with the email communications tool and such like that, I would suggest starting your free 30-day trial. So the Engage subscription has a free 30-day trial with every network. And so you can always start this trial and get a good look at what the subscription has to offer. So all of those things that I just spoke about, all of the content that I just showed you and more. This isn't like only seeing part of the content. The free trial is seeing everything that Engage really has to offer. So those are the two actions that I would suggest if you're interested in looking at these tools and how they can really strengthen those lifelines to your individual members. So I just wanted to thank you so much for joining me today. You might have questions. I know that new tools always bring new questions, but I assure you that this is one of the easiest things that you can do, and you have the help of the Flocknote support team. So I'm one of the happiness engineers here, and my team and I are always happy to help you walk through any questions that you might have regarding Engage, regarding Flocknote, or just how to maximize your ability to reach your members, because that's what we're here to do, is to really help you communicate better and to use it for evangelization in strengthening your community. So if you have any questions, reach out at engage@flocknote.com. Until then, thank you so much for spending time with me and for all that you do building the kingdom of God. God bless.